So, basically, now we're going to be introducing ourselves to all the different casts of the game. And that's right, everyone who appears in the game, except for 2 characters, I believe, everyone important is already in this room. So now we have our control. Now, the game does not tell you, but you can use the nunchuck. You'll want to use the nunchuck, because the nunchuck has much better control than the control pad. But the game really is very unpolished. Let me get down to the controls here. Control stick basically is moving around. Control pad is the same thing, just you had to start by walking, then you start running. The C button and Z button do nothing. The A button interacts with stuff. For example, try to go at the door. He won't let me. The B button, recenter the camera behind you. It also can do this, where you can look at things that are of interest in the environment, but the odds are, in most environments, there is nothing to see. So I just use it for camera repositioning, because it automatically snaps the camera behind Conan. And you will need that feature, because doors... Let's see if I can do it. Nope. But most of the time, doors will not react if you do not have them on camera. The minus button switches between the JDL badge, the Junior Detective League, which is the dub name for it, Detective Boys in the original name, and his rocket power skateboard, basically. And the rocket power skateboard we'll be using a lot because it replaces sprinting. Yes, Conan runs, but he really runs when you're using this. And this actually raises a whole bunch of questions for me. Like, the owner of this place is right here. Now, how many kids do you see riding a skateboard with a rocket on the back in a hotel? None. Why does he not go, hey, get off that skateboard, brat, and, confiscate the skateboard? And no, why does Conan have the skateboard with him? Anyway, the GDL badge, I can't use right now. It's pointless. Completely pointless. All it does is give you the option to communicate with, by remote, one of the detective boys. But, and they've disappeared for some reason. Only Conan went in here, I guess. Basically all they do is give you the same dialogue over and over, mostly. There's nothing important that ever happens using that badge. Therefore, I will always be using the skateboard. Unless I accidentally hit the minus button, because I sometimes mix those up. The 1 button sends you into our menu. Save. That's pretty obvious. Options. The same menu we saw earlier. Clue chain. This will be important. Map. This is very important as well, because it shows you where everyone is. And as you can see, apparently, Kogoro and the rest of the gang kinda disappeared. They're nowhere to be found. How scary. That's all the map will mostly be used for, is to find where these people are. Otherwise, the map is pretty useless. The relationship chart, which is useless, and I can't open it, because I don't know any of the people in here yet. Notes. Every now and then I might look at this, but it's really almost pointless. What it does is it shows you the list of your clues. And a little bit of what you should be doing, I guess. So if you ever get stuck, look at here first. And then mostly you look at your map, and you look for the people. And then you go to find the people. And once you find the people, you go and talk to them until something happens. Other than that, we have return to title, which we don't want to do. The 2 button does nothing. So that's pretty much all the controls. And with that, we've pretty much covered around 2 episodes worth of content. So I might just be uploading this in several spurts. Alright, let's talk to CJ here, because that's what we're supposed to do. We talk to the little maid, and she says, "Oh, you came here, Detective Moore. What's your name?" "I'm Conan." "Oh, you see? They left the Japanese last name. It's so weird." And this, I'll show you a little bit more here, but, basically they kept his name as it is, for some reason. I don't know. And they do that for every now and then for some people, and it's really stupid. And she asked him, "I want to be the assistant, can you ask him for me?" And he's like, no. And she thinks she has what it takes to be a great detective. He's very upset about that. And so basically, it's time for us to figure out who all these people are. We have to point on the screen and press the A button. This is almost the extent of the gameplay, really. Running around and pushing the A button. Let's go from... let's go this way. Start with her. Meg Wexham. She's the secretary, but there are rumors that she's Mr. Chase's lover. She keeps to the side in front of his wife, but in her mind, she's his wife herself. Oh, not very nice, huh? And then Conan starts to, analyze that, because he's a detective. And then he repeats back what she said, so if you don't pay attention to who's speaking, it can be almost a bit confusing. It confused me the first time I read it. And then we have Keith Kozlov. And at the moment, he's very famous. Before starting Mirage, he was an unsuccessful magician doing sales demos for magic products at department stores. Also, when he was 8, he lost all his memories up to that point due to a certain accident. Keith Kozlov, formerly an successful magician. As I said, he repeats it. Then this one, we're just gonna... It doesn't matter who you click on for these two. It'll be about both of them. And before forming a trio with Keith, they were acrobats in a rundown circus. They may look like sisters who are close, but behind the scenes they're always fighting. Maybe because of Keith. A good man sure can cause trouble. And Conan repeats that back. And let me see if I can get the names on there a bit longer. Nope. But I'll just look at the thing later. So there's Emily and Linda. I think Linda is the actual name in Japanese, because I can hear that in the dialogue. I'm not sure about Emily, though. There's the owner, Jack Chase. They call him the Rockefeller of our day, but he's really kind of nervous and sensitive, so he's not anything special. Not anything special? Well, like splendor refined women over glamorous beauties, I think he also has a thing for these maid outfits. You don't say. Then he repeats it back again. But yeah, that's the owner. Why does he not go, hey, stop scuffing the floors with your skateboard, brat? Utako Chase. There's another name that bugs me. That's the Japanese name. Why do they keep the Japanese name when everything else is changed? It's just sloppy. It's not that I don't have a huge problem with them changing the names, but if you're going to change the names, change all the names. And whatnot. So... yeah, basically she's the wife, she's fluent in French, she's once an Olympic gymnast, and she's really amazing. And basically, Conan repeats it again, this stuff again. And now we have this guy. Al Watson. He went into heavy debt due to gambling, but Mr. Chase took the debt. But it appears that Mr. Chase keeps making him do all kinds of terrible jobs. Instead of feeling grateful, Al's been fuming and saying he'd like to kill Mr. Chase one day. Is that foreshadowing I hear? And last but not least... oh no, okay, there's two more people. I'll go with this one first. Jim Ogre. Yes, that's the name they came up with. I think it's because his name was started with O and OG something, but it wasn't Ogre originally. But yeah. What a name, what a name. Basically, he just won the draw, he was a regular guest. He's got a bit of a cold. Lastly, we have this person. That woman with the sunglasses on. No one knows. A mystery woman. She wanted to get the raffle or something. So, she's probably going to be important. Alrighty, now we're going to see Al in action. He basically has a brother who's stuck inside a suit of armor. No wait, he's stuck inside a suit of armor. I haven't seen Full Alchemist, I'm sorry I messed up the joke. Basically, he's going to try and tell a joke, but he has a very, very bad sense of humor. And... yeah, as you can see by reading the jokes yourself, they're not very good. And everyone else feels they're lame. A funny thing, too, is that, in Japan, they use the term cold to say that they didn't do a good job with the jokes. So whereas us, we have it as meaning something like that's mean or something like that. And there, when they say something like that's cold, it just means that wasn't funny. Or something to that extent, at least. So basically, I should have left it on the screen. I shouldn't have done that so quickly. It just said, corniest man in Japan. They live in Japan. Why do they have the name Jimmy? Yeah. So here we have the honest couple who have one American and one Japanese name in them. I don't know if they use American because they use the dub apparently in Europe too. Actually, I don't remember entirely, but I think that the name changes were part of the deal Funimation had to make to dub it. The Japanese people thought that we wouldn't get their names. So I can understand why they did it. And like I said, they didn't have to do it sloppily. Just if you're gonna localize it entirely. Don't make it feel like it's not. And oh my gosh, she's important after all. Someone is fighting with her. Apparently, she knows him. How much dough are you promised? Oh no, something about money. Either that or making cookies. Cookies. And she just yanks free and walks off. And no, of course, they don't know each other. He's just talking with her and going, grabbing her arm and stuff. And apparently while she was doing that, they ignored it and finished the ceremony. So now, we get to go to the arcade! Yay, the arcade! And Gento runs off because he's excited. He's a kid. He's excited. And Mizuhiko fell down. Yes. If you listen, I don't know if you'll be able to hear it over my voice, but if you listen to the background, you might be able to hear the Japanese voices saying the names. And now he is utterly infatuated with her. And she's just doing her job and being friendly. And whatnot. Yep, he's very much infatuated with her now. Even though he's very just like a 5-year-old. Actually, I think they're like 7. And immediately the photo games is like, okay. So here's the arcade. Like I said, this arcade is not very impressive. Oh, what was that? Can I make that happen again? I thought I saw like textures just kind of warped on that for a second. Basically, it has 2 crane games, 3 crane games, 5 crane games, 6 crane games, 7 crane games, 8 crane games, 9, 10, 11 crane games. Okay, that's a bit much, don't you think? Here's where you get soda and coffee. I think this is where you exchange for tokens. This is the gambler's corner where you basically gamble. These are the video game fighting games. That's what everyone else is pretty much doing. They're playing the fighting games. So I'm going to show you the mini games because I feel like doing that for the sake of completionist. But they're very bad. Let's start with this one, the Masked Yaiba. Or as he's known in the Japanese version, Kamen Yaiba! It's pun against the Kamen Rider. And these movement controls are horrible. Utterly horrible. And it really is just terrible. So basically we have to hold the B button and swing the remote forward to attack with a Yaiba punch! Swing the remotes right and left to dodge the incoming attacks. Basically we have to step right to dodge the right attack, step left to dodge the left attack. He can fire some punches or dodge attacks to fill up his power attack. Then you hold the A button to use Fist of Thunder! And that's pretty much it. Let's begin. And I'm going to fail this. I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to fail this. This is one of the 2 enemies you can fight. It is a Goomba, or it wants to be Goomba. It's a mushroom head alien. Punch! Ow! Dodge! I said dodge to the right! Okay, that was a good idea. No, dodge! I can barely... I'm almost like throwing my controller. And it's barely registering what I'm trying to do. I move to the left, and it moves me to the right. I move to the right, it moves me to the left. It's just... It's bad. It's really bad. So, yeah, there's no point to playing that again anymore.